Hey, what's up? I'm Lee Kimbrell. I've been asked here to be on the Full Spin Club podcast. I accepted the invitation. I'm a comedian based out of Cincinnati. And we listened to PUP the band, The Dream is Over.
Hell yeah, man.
That's what I listened to, and it rocked. I'm excited to talk about it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
I'm in the club, baby.
Doesn't kill you, buddy. I'm on. Now that I got nothing, you're having your. You just sleep with me, eating with me. You were dragging me down. You keep trying to rip off an old world. I'm at the end of my tether. You're under my skin. Feels like a killer. Following familiar patterns. Always right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Spin Club. My name is David Stewart, and I'm the host of this online album listening club because book clubs are lame, and this is a little more fun. Like he said in the intro, my man Lee Kimbrell is here today to talk about one of my favorite albums of all time, The Dream is Over by PUP.
Dude, you're wearing the merch.
I am. I'm wearing the merch.
And it's not just for the pod. I've seen you out in the wild wearing the merch.
Yes, this is my most stained hat.
Well, okay. That is the saltiest hat you own.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I left it on stage once, and Billy DeVore picked it up, and he's like, "This is fucking disgusting," and then threw it.
Yeah, I thought you were
going
going to say use it as a napkin.
Probably.
Yeah, just wiped his mouth off. But no, thank you for giving me the album of, one of your favorite bands and one of your favorite albums.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I've been waiting to do this one.
I was honored. I bet you have, man. It was pretty killer.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
All right. So quick few things before we get into it.
Lay it on me.
There are three main sections to this show. The first one is called On a Pedestal, which is where we each bring three things that we loved about this record.
Good stuff.
The second one is called On a Spit, which is where we both bring three roasts to the record.
Yes.
Three things that we thought were funny or silly and want to make fun of because nothing's safe, even if you love it.
Yeah.
And then the third one is On a Turntable, which is where I use it to as a backdrop to talk about our lives and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I think talking about personal stuff with music in mind creates fun conversation.
For sure.
And as much as comedians talk about themselves on stage, it's like a bit of a chance to talk about yourself in a different context.
Right on, man. I dig it. Full spin, baby.
Yep. And laced throughout the episode, there are going to be two record scratch moments.
Yeah,
which
I heard
is
that.
where I come up with one. We have one mainstay game. It's called Hitter Full of Shit.
Okay.
It's where I have takes that I've either gotten from the internet or come up with myself, and we decide whether it's a good take or a bad take.
Okay, fair enough.
And then we have a second surprise mini game that I'll drop at some point in the episode as well.
Bring it on, man. I love it, dude.
All right. So to get us started, can you describe your experience with this record in one word?
In one word.
One word.
Describe surprised.
Surprised.
Yes.
All right. Elaborate. Give me
surprised that I dug it as much as I did. Like when we were just talking at the sanctuary that one time, and you were kind of like, interviewing me without me knowing it about me doing the podcast, and you asked about the music that I grew up listening to. I did mention like pop punk, but it was. Like I would never, my pop punk history, I never would have stumbled upon PUP.
Right.
Like maybe my lack of knowledge for pop punk is PUP kind of a deep cut?
So they're new.
Like how, new. This album that we listened to came out 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like comic band. It's like they're new. They're an overnight success, and it's like, well, they've had 5 albums in 10 years.
They are of the modern generation of pop punk.
Okay, cool. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So I would have no idea who they were.
Right.
So that's why I say surprised, because I don't know. I really just enjoyed it, and it was like a little more nuanced than just kind of like every. All the pop punk stereotypes.
Yeah.
They were there. The reason why you liked the pop punk was there. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. The music was like, just a little more elevated.
Yeah. They're really nerdy.
You can tell that they're like musicians.
Yeah.
Before they're like cutters. You know what I'm saying? They're like a good band.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there was like keys. Violin, there were some strings in it.
Yeah.
I just liked it. I was kind of surprised with how much I vibed on it.
Yeah, it's the reason I wanted to do this with you is because you were like, I think the sort of thing that like clinched this choice for you was you were like, give me something I haven't heard before.
Yeah, and I definitely haven't.
And I was like, perfect. Because
Yeah.
I've been waiting to like, part of the fun of this is like not only to like, you know, like corral my friends and convince them to talk about music, which is like my second favorite thing to talk about.
Right.
Like next to like comedy and like the philosophy of comedy.
Yeah, sure.
It's to talk about music. And so getting to share shit that I like with people is like my favorite thing.
Of course.
So hell yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah,
you
it's the
liked it.
first I'd ever heard of them, minus seeing your hat
Yeah.
at an open mic.
Yep.
Yeah, but nah, it was pretty killer. It was like all of the perfect tones that you want from the pop punk.
Yeah.
I mean, from the down to the, and this is like a pedestal and a spit roast where
All
it's
right.
just like, you know, lyrics just like, I'm such a piece of shit. And just like,
Yeah.
you love it.
Yes.
It's like, it's eye rolly. I don't know if I'm sorry if I'm like hopping all over the
good.
place, but one of the questions that you put in there about the,
Yeah, we will dive into this
we'll
in
get
a
in that later.
legitimate
Okay,
way.
cool.
Yeah.
Well then, yeah, you lead the way, but that was my one word is surprised.
Okay.
I was like, this is good.
Yeah. I have
It was
good.
good.
taste.
It wasn't like it wasn't. Yeah, I liked it. It was good music.
Yeah, man. I think it helps that they're our age.
That
That's
that is something that I wrote down too
Mhm.
because I looked it up, then looked up Stefan's age now,
Mhm.
and when this album came out, he was 25.
Yeah.
So he probably wrote him when he was like 24.
Mm-hmm.
So damn, that's a great point.
Yeah, is that
he's
they're-
as old as he's my age.
Yeah. So
His perspective, like it. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
it
Yeah.
helped with that, like that feeling of aging out of pop punk is something that I feel now. Like one of my
Yeah.
favorite bands coming up right now is Hot Mulligan. They're all 24 right now.
Right now.
And I feel like a little disconnected from them. I love them and what they're doing, but I
But you
feel
like it
disconnected.
because you can be on the outside looking in.
Yeah. But with PUP, it's the other way around. I feel like I was growing up with them.
Yeah.
And like we were feeling the same things at the same time.
Which
and
is
like
it's like that is who you like.
yeah.
That's who you like, you know? I mean, the old thing about, just to bring it back to comedy, because how I am a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
They say that your favorite SNL cast is the SNL cast
Yeah.
when you were in high school.
Right. Like your graduating class of comedy.
And that lines
right?
up for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Sandberg, Hader,
Yep.
Sudeikis, Wig,
Mm-hmm.
very tail end of like Polar and like that crew.
Yeah.
And it's just because, that's who you love when you're coming up. It does make sense that the PUP guys are the same age as us.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to their like these little whiny pop punk lyrics, and I'm like, yeah, but like he's right. You know? Like
he's onto
I do
something.
relate to this, man.
Yeah.
It is hard having a drinking problem.
Yeah.
yeah, you know. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Hell yeah. Well, with that being said, let's get into the first section, shall we? Let's get on a
shall we?
pedestal.
On a pedestal.
What was the first thing you loved about this record?
The first thing I loved about the record was after the first track. What's it called?
It's if the first track is "If This Tour Doesn't Kill You."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, which is so funny because you sent me this shit right before I was going on a tour.
Yep.
So I open it up, I look at it, and I was like, "Oh, you cheeky bitch."
Yep.
yeah. So that was funny. So that kind of like put me in a good mood going to listen to it for the first time. But that was a couple weeks ago. The first thing that I liked about it, my first pedestal thing, is so that first track ends.
Yep.
And you can't even tell that the second track,
Yes.
there's no skip. It's like
That's-
the same, that's like the first thing that captures it. You're like, I like a little intentional, like I like an attempt for an artist or a band or a mixer, producer, whoever made that decision was like, hey, keep listening to the fucking
Right in.
album.
Yeah.
Keep listening to the album.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved that.
Yeah.
I even went back on my phone and was like, did I fuck something up?
No.
And I did like that because then you're automatically in for the second song, and it doesn't do it like as seamlessly as it does from track 1 to track 2, but 2 to 3, like really throughout the entire album, that's something that I like. It's kind of like, bring it back to stand-up. They're just keeping the ball up in the air.
Yeah. It's cohesive.
I love that that's another one of my pedestal things. Another thing that I always liked about pop punk. That's a 30-minute album.
Yes.
That's half hour.
Yep.
I listened to that album 8 times, you
Yep.
know? Like, I love a 30-minute album. I think the longest song on this album's 4 minutes, and it's the last song.
Yeah.
And it's Pine Point, and it's like a real like narrative, and it's like it feels like it should be 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think this genre of music lends itself to being
right.
Whatever, 300 seconds long.
Yeah.
Just get in, feel your feelings, move on to the next emotion.
Yeah. we talk about how I think my preferred length of a stand-up set is 30 minutes. And I think that like lends itself to this. Same thing. Like my like comedy specials, I'm like 30 minutes, get in, get out.
Yeah, for sure.
We've talked about that before.
I'm thinking of my next one. I'm just gonna make it the same length as like an episode of The Office.
There you go, 22.
22.
Yeah.
22 minutes, same length as Seinfeld, same length as all of it. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
22 minutes.
Boom.
And just like literally, I'll just name it like, hey, please watch this.
It's jokes about nothing.
Come on. Yeah. No, but I agree. I like that with a song. You're seeing like a bit of a return of it today with some of these songs that are coming out. They're like the TikTok songs, right?
Yeah. They have that hot moment.
That's a whole different podcast, but it's wild. But these TikTok songs, they're great. It's like if you can write 20 seconds, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then just boom, cool. Have a 2-minute and 20-second song.
Boom.
Say the chorus 3 times.
Yeah.
Couple verses,
We're
in
we're
and
out.
out. Make $1 million. No, that was okay. So that's what I liked. I liked the seamlessness between tracks.
That was actually my first pedestal as well. Was the transition from "If this tour doesn't kill you, then I will" to DVP.
Yeah.
Which is
it rocks.
Also, the first line of DVP where he's like, "Your sister thinks that I'm a freak."
Yeah,
like,
it's a really good song.
Yeah, and just going in on why he's a piece of shit.
What's DVP stand for again?
The Don Valley Parkway.
Okay,
it's
sick.
so they're from
Canada.
Toronto.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
And he's like, I'm doing 180 on the Don Valley Parkway.
Sick. And then PUP is pathetic use of potential.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that, and they're like my favorite.
Oh,
band.
dude, PUP is pathetic use of potential, and then, they were a band for a while. I mean, 16 was like their first one, like you were saying, where they were like, "Hey, we're out. We're a band. A Canadian label gave us we're a band." Their original band name was Topanga.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it was an ode to Topanga Lawrence from Boy Meets World. Shout out, God.
And I've mentioned this on this show before, but Topanga Lawrence was actually my sexual awakening.
Same. Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. Me too.
Yeah.
Danielle Fishel. God love her heart, man.
I know.
But so they were Topanga, and then in 2014, Boy Meets or Girl Meets World, like they rebooted it or whatever.
Oh,
do you remember when they did that?
Yeah.
And so Topanga had a job again.
Oh.
And then, like, out of respect, they were like, all right, well, we won't be called Topanga anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, PUP rules as a name.
PUP is great. Pathetic use of potential.
Yeah.
And and like to have success with that name, it rocks.
It does.
And I definitely, it's like a really good pop punk name.
Yeah. It's
what a
just
pathetic
short,
use
sweet.
of potential.
Yeah.
But an acronym that sounds good, PUP the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Pop
rules.
punk,
I didn't know
pop
that
punk.
about them.
Yeah.
I love that you do your research.
Yeah, man. It was worth it. Yeah, it was good. I liked okay, here's another thing I'll put on a pedestal cuz like I don't know like I've always I enjoy music, but like I'm not a guy. I don't know the verbiage. I don't know. I have a hard time talking about like genres and like what kind of music do you like? And I'm just like the stuff that sounds good in my ears, like all of it, you know. So I don't know like the specifics of it, but I liked that I listened to this album and thought to myself, I think that this is particularly pretty good. This sounds good to me. This sounds elevated. And then I looked up how it was critically received, and it was like off the charts.
Yeah.
It was
People
like
love this
it was a
record.
top 10 album of the year in the New York Times.
Yeah.
Like it was really big for them. Like
Yeah.
people loved it. They didn't have across the board. I think I saw like on Wikipedia across the board. I think the lowest rating it got was like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like they killed with their debut.
Yeah.
It's sick.
And I think that speaks to like authenticity. And I have like I think I have a note on it later. But yeah, I think authenticity rules. You know what? Actually, we'll dive in right now. We're gonna do hitter full of shit.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Let me get
Record
a take. Let me get a take.
All right, I got 3 takes for you, and we'll start with the one that triggered this. It is emotional authenticity outweighs technically perfect vocal performances.
Emotional authenticity outweighs a technically perfect vocal performance.
Correct.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Big hit. And like
Big
I think
hit on
about
that.
that. I think about that with this band in particular.
Big hit on that.
Because of like Stefan's vocals are not clean
At all.
They are not technically
there are
gorgeous.
places on this album where like his voice will break.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that made the final cut.
Yeah.
On purpose, right?
Mhm.
You gotta assume he had a take where it was better. I don't know. Like, no, I would agree with that. It does. It's like very humanizing.
Yep.
Feels a little gritty, but it doesn't feel like, because there's nothing worse than like a super coerced version of trying to seem a genuine.
So a theme we're seeing in like modern pop punk these days is like highly crispy. So like if you listen to like anything Travis Barker has produced for like people like MGK or anything like that, like the new school of pop punk, it is almost technically perfect.
Right.
You know, like they use like
it's all like
MIDI
drum
control,
machines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
use MIDI
absolutely.
controllers.
It's
and
hip
drum
hop.
machines. Yeah. And it's all like quantized and perfect. And I think like this is like a look into my other pedestal is like the controlled recklessness of all of this.
Yeah.
The total authenticity of it all. It doesn't sound technically perfect.
Controlled recklessness is great because I took a screenshot of one of the. Sorry, it's loading.
All good. And so I was just saying that like it's the authenticity of it will outweigh technical proficiency in my book any day of the week.
Agreed.
And like and that's just like who I am as a person. It's like how I look at comedy as well. I'd rather it be authentic than 100% perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather it be me up there than like the perfect joke that isn't me.
No doubt.
And
well, yeah,
like,
the perfect joke that isn't you. I mean, yeah, that's really nothing.
Yeah, but there are some people out there that will outweigh, like they're like, I'd rather get a laugh than be me up there, and that is where you lose me.
Dude, I'm just so happy about how much you nailed it. You called it
Controlled recklessness.
Controlled recklessness, and now this is called it's like controlled chaos, youthfully sassy and sarcastic in one breath, and introspectively mature in another.
Yeah, it is.
It does. I didn't know that you. It was like how you said it was the second generation of pop punk.
Mm-hmm.
That is that makes sense. It's like it felt mature. It felt like mature pop punk. It felt like pop punk for adults.
Yeah, it's pop punk for dudes in their 30s.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's made by dudes in their 30s. Like even their most recent album came out maybe 2 years ago.
Yes.
And so like it's still made by people who have been through it already, as opposed to like projecting that it could happen to them.
Well, I was listening to this today.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my girlfriend were running around doing errands, and I was listening to this today, and then it put her in the mood, so she got in a time machine and went back to her high school, and she was just banging Say Anything.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not a Say Anything hater, but like after listening, just the contrast of listening to PUP and then Say Anything.
Oh,
and I know it's just like a dated thing. It's just like an era thing. But yeah, it's like more proof towards PUP being pop punk for men in their 30s.
Yeah.
Because Say Anything I listened to and I enjoyed it, but I was like, I mean, this is a little cringy.
I think it also speaks to the complexity of today's problems that folks have, as opposed to like problems that were going on in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, where you just had to make them up and cry about it.
Yeah,
because everything was sick.
Right, like in the early 2000s, like we're pre-first like housing crisis.
Everything was awesome, man.
Yeah, everything's great.
Like I mean, the worst thing ever was 9/11, and then all 9/11 did was just like make everyone nicer to each other for 4 years.
Right, and then now I get my junk touched at the airport.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's basic, like, but yeah, so like it's pop punk for dudes who like actually feel complex emotions due to like systematic traumas that have gone on since.
Yeah, it's good. It's just like a louder different toned bluegrass music or
Yeah.
blues or jazz or anything. Yeah, it is. It's just like an expression of some of men trying to be like, I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
This is the only place I'm safe
Yeah,
to feel.
yeah, it's nice. I like it.
All right, you ready for the second take?
Yeah, that one was a hit.
All right. This album is too woe is me and whines too much.
This one,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's a miss. I mean,
I'm gonna agree. It is full of shit.
yeah.
This was an Anthony Fantano.
Yeah.
I watched his review of this record in prep for this.
Yeah, it was. He called it like whiny and like
and
woe is me. But
yeah.
but what is emo music if it's not
Right.
that?
What's the point?
It wasn't like because the woe is me thing is one of my biggest critiques of like modern day culture.
Sure.
No doubt.
Oh yeah.
It's the biggest turnoff in the world. It's like woe is me. Like the reason why it pisses people off is because it discredits the work that you've put in.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't,
Mhm.
it feels like you're just like, well, no,
No.
get
I've
your
actually
shit
grown.
together.
Yeah,
Bad
yeah.
stuff happens to everyone.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I didn't think it was like it wasn't whiny.
It didn't feel over the top.
No,
together.
it didn't feel over the top. It's like, and if it. I guess I can get that critique, but if you're gonna give that critique to a pop punk album, then you could just say that about everyone.
Yeah.
It's like listening to a rap album and be like, little arrogant for me.
Yeah, a little boastful.
Yeah, that guy really thinks he's the man, huh?
Wow.
Especially track 4 titled "I'm the motherfucking man."
Yeah, all gold everything. Trinidad
yeah.
James.
It's like describing a pop punk album as "woe is me" is like, don't be mad at a horse for being a horse.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
It's like,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's woe is me. It's woe all of us.
I'm sorry. Is it eating hay?
Yeah,
Like-
right. Yeah, exactly. You can't. So yeah, that's a miss.
Yeah,
I don't agree
miss.
with that.
Anthony Fantano blew it on that one.
What's his deal? Is he just like a music critic?
Yeah, he is. He's the internet's busiest music nerd. He's like one of the
Okay.
music critics on
Does he
YouTube.
have a lot of hits or mostly misses?
He gave My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy a 6,
Jesus.
and like that is his most hated video. Like,
Yeah.
he got a lot of shit for that one.
Yeah, because there are some people who are like, that's the greatest thing
It's the
anyone's
greatest
ever
album
recorded.
made. Yeah. And so he's often dragged for his critiques.
Well, yeah. What'd he give this one? Do you know?
A 6.
Well, that's a miss.
Yeah. Miss.
Across the board,
Yeah.
everyone liked this album.
Yeah. And actually, he had a. Okay, actually, this next one is also a Fantano take that I thought was fascinating.
Okay.
He said his least favorite track on this record was "Sleep in the Heat."
Bad take.
Terrible take.
Horrible
full of
take.
shit.
Yeah, that song rips.
Yeah. Not only does it rip, it is the best Dead Dog song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like,
Sleep in the Heat is track 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that song does rip. I really liked Familiar Patterns.
that is one of my pedestals as well, which brings us back because
Yeah,
we're done
the
with Bitter Full of Shit.
The pedestal. Yeah, I mean, Familiar Patterns. What a good song.
Bro.
Really rips at your
It
feelings.
rips.
A little bit. Yeah, that one's
Oh,
good.
the intro to that
Yes,
one.
it's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Gets a little heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets
oh
a little
my gosh.
heavier
Familiar
in the
Patterns
middle.
has to be one of their best songs.
Okay, good. See, I
Like,
like this.
yeah,
this
it-
is good.
So I saw them live at Bogart's like
Okay.
2 years ago.
I was gonna ask, do you know like how do they tour? Like, do they move tickets? Are they playing?
move tickets.
Are they
Yeah.
playing Bogarts and selling what, like 600, 400?
Probably, yeah, around
600 is
400.
a good living, man.
Yeah.
It's a great living.
Yeah, they sold Bogart's, and
Okay.
if this tour doesn't kill you into DVP, rad
Yeah,
live,
yeah.
so
Oh,
fun.
I bet.
The energy in there was electric.
Yeah, I
during
bet
that.
it was ripping.
And then Familiar Patterns was absolutely rager. Like
God,
I
that
have like footage
rocks.
that I'll intercut into this if I so choose.
Yeah,
'cause, like,
please.
I have
Footage from when you were there.
when I was there.
Oh, throw that in there. That's
yeah,
tight.
yeah. It's fun.
When'd you see him? 2 years ago?
Yeah, just about 2 years ago now.
Dope.
It was super fun.
Pub the band. Dude.
I was an old man about it though. Like, you know how like Bogarts will have like the one riser with tables at it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got that ticket for
Bet
sure.
your ass.
I'm not getting in the pit.
No,
I'm too
hell
old.
no.
Yeah. I had
No.
earplugs in.
No, the pit sounds horrific, man. I would put earplugs in and go sit up top.
Yeah, it was especially funny because the guitarist, his name is Steve. Steve is marrying a Louisville girl.
Oh, let's
and
go.
so her parents were at this show.
Damn.
And Stefan's like goal for that tour was to learn the solo to Hotel California. yeah, and so him and Steve would play it. And then after they're like, Bob, did you like it? Did you like Steve?
Please say that you liked that. That's so funny.
He's marrying your daughter.
To just learn the most dad solo of all time. That rocks. So they're funny.
They're funny.
I didn't watch any, like, did they have interviews and stuff out there?
Kind
like,
of.
do you like them? Do you think that they have, like, good
they're
personality?
funny.
They're funny
Yeah,
guys?
They're funny.
Are they, like, riffing in between songs and shit
they're riffing.
on like, when they're performing live?
Mm-hmm. They're riffing and they're saying
like
all kinds
that.
of dumb shit. Their music
like
videos
that.
for their most recent, like, album are all silly. Like,
Let's go.
just making fun of
That rocks.
themselves and, like, selling out and stuff like that. They, like PUP the Band Incorporated was like their like
Pup Brand Inc., baby.
yeah
That's fun. I know. I like that. That's a good vibe.
yeah. So I love when musicians are funny.
Yeah.
I always get jealous. I have like a new bit I'm working out. I was like, there's like when rappers are funnier than me, I get upset because
Yeah.
you have two things and I only have one.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have a beat and a punchline.
Yeah.
That is part of the reason why I do like hip hop is because like punchline is part of the verbiage
Yeah.
of their world too.
The line that made me think of that was this rapper was freestyling on Kenny Beats' channel.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, man, I got so high I could smell my heartbeat. And I was like, damn it, that's funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great line.
Damn it.
It's funny shit.
But yeah, I think I've covered all my pedestals. We talked about controlled recklessness, familiar patterns.
Yeah.
Do you have any last ones before we move on?
No, we can move on. I'm trying to think of some roasts, but it's like, yeah, you can.
Okay.
What are the roasts? What are your critiques?
We're
Like,
on to Honest Bit now.
Okay, okay.
I have some roasts, and just because I like writing roasts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's like part of the fun is like
Yeah.
try and roast something you love. Like
Sure.
I've had to do it for really difficult things like Kendrick Lamar, and you just kind of end up being racist.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no doubt.
This one, in classic roast form, I was like, hey guys, have you ever thought about just feeling better?
Yeah.
You
yeah.
ever just thought about, I don't know, getting over it?
Yeah. Hey, pup, why don't you take yourself on a walk?
Yeah. Have you considered therapy?
Yeah. Yeah. Go on a walk, pup.
Just doing
Like a dog. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Come
Take yourself on a walk, pup.
Come on, pup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the leash.
Yeah.
They're just
There's 4 of them. They could make each other feel better.
yeah.
No doubt.
But then that first song does make me feel like that.
If this tour doesn't kill you, I will.
Yeah.
That is such an interesting take, starting the record off like that.
Well, like, dude, just close quarters. Like, I mean, at that point in their career, they're probably van touring at this
Oh,
point. They're not bus
100%.
touring. They're,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
van touring.
No
and, like,
doubt.
Yo, sharing a van. I
Oh,
don't care how much I
100%
like
they're
you.
in
Dude.
an Astro van with all the seats ripped out.
Yeah.
No doubt.
No matter how much I like you,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to hate you at the end
Oh,
of this.
yeah, man. I mean, under the best circumstances in the world, you still get annoyed with each other.
Yeah.
You know? So, I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of, like, a good roast of these guys, because I just did enjoy the album and my enjoyment of the album was exacerbated by the fact that was surprised by it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit, this is good.
This is good.
This is a good band. A good roast. Do you have any more?
I do.
Okay, go for it. I'll riff off you.
PUP is what happens when dweebs experience trauma.
Yeah, exactly. You know what also is a funny thing about these dweebs, though?
Uh-huh.
They are dweebs, but you can tell in the lyrics and how it's delivered that they, did get laid in high school.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, they probably did.
I think they did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that they did. I'm not saying that they were like, big poon hounds and out there and they were
No.
like really cool and popular. They definitely weren't. But I bet you that, they are dweebs who experienced some trauma, but they got through their trauma in part because they had like a big-titted goth girlfriend.
Sure.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure.
You know, like they've
I
got
also-
they've got that edge to them.
So
They are dweebs, but they don't feel like hopeless.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that adds to the trauma. So like,
Right.
they definitely got laid.
Yeah.
But because it was infrequent, it was
Heartbroken.
devastating when it ended.
Yeah. It actually just led to more songs. Yeah.
Like, this
That's
was rare, and now I have nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. It's a great counter to that. That's a great counter to that statement for sure. PUP the band, I mean, how about this? I wish it was longer. No, it was fine. No, I just really enjoyed the album. I mean, there is something just inherently lame because we're comedians. I just go up there by myself and always have. So there's part of me that's jealous, right?
Right, that you
I
got
would
your
like-
buddies.
Yeah, to like be up there killing and look over and just like see your friend doing his part in the killing process.
Yeah.
You know, so if I had to roast them, then being in a band is lame in
Yeah.
general. I know it's not. It's fucking
How about you
cool,
be
and I just
better than the
can't
sum
do
of
it.
your parts?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm jealous of it. That's why I'm lashing out. It's a projection.
Fair enough.
But yeah, if they had to stand on stage and they couldn't play an instrument or sing, they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do what we do.
Yeah, that's just projecting.
My last one was this is Alvin and the Chipmunks if they're mad at Dave for not letting them shop at Hot Topic.
That's great. That's really good. Because man, his register can
It's
get
high.
up there.
Yeah.
Like squeaky.
Yeah.
It truly is Alvin and the Chipmunky, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's very funny.
With that,
Wouldn't let him shop at Hot Topic.
he's
That's
like,
good.
now I'm mad at Dave.
Yeah, it's good.
Theodore, get on the drum set.
Yeah, lay it fucking down, Alvin. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, man.
So what
All
is the third one?
That was my third one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So that we'll go ahead and we'll do our second record scratch of the episode right before we get into our final section here.
Hell yeah.
This game is called You Know What, and it is a power ranking or which one is worse of minor inconveniences that would set you off.
Okay, cool.
And this is comedian specific.
Okay,
specific.
interesting. So I
So-
rank these most
Yeah,
annoying to least annoying.
Yeah, or give it a 1 to 10, and we'll do the math later. Who knows?
Beautiful.
So, because like so much about this album is like complaining, and
Sure.
like we went over that, right?
Yeah.
So like, but it's about like the things that just get under your skin.
Okay.
And so I have like 5 or 6 of like things that happen as a comic, and you get to rank them on like, you know what? Like it's the thing that's
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
make you
You're
snap.
trying to get me going
Yeah,
off.
it's
Okay.
gonna make you snap.
Okay.
I think we'll go with the first one, and this one's a little off the cuff because I thought of it earlier. When you introduce yourself and they find out you're a comic and they tell you to tell them a joke.
Obviously, very, very annoying,
Yeah.
right? Not everyone does it.
Mm-hmm.
Used to annoy me way more than it does now, only because now I feel comfortable making fun of the person for saying that.
Okay.
It also depends on who it is.
Yeah.
If it's a grandma, if it's some sweet little grandma who is
Yes.
trying to be nice,
Mhm.
then I will rattle off a little street joke for her.
Okay.
If it mostly it's
a
some
drunk
dickhead
girl.
who's challenged by, if it's a drunk girl, sure. I mean, when it comes from older men a lot.
Sure.
Drunk older men who
Yep.
shake your hand for too hard and too long,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to tell you they're challenged by the fact that you do a cool thing that they think they could do.
Yep.
So it's annoying when they say it.
It's a shitty
And then
ego thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you a joke. Your
Yeah.
fucking hairline, buddy.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then it's like, if he wants to engage, we can fucking engage.
All right.
And maybe that's a projection or whatever. But yeah, I mean, tell me a joke. It's annoying. You can mostly just laugh it off.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's be like, okay, tell you a joke. Or what's funny? You'll be talking with a group. You'll be talking with somebody
Mhm.
for 5 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll come up. Someone will tell it. It'll pop up. You're a comedian. And then they'll say, tell me a joke. So many times I've said, we've been laughing this whole time.
Yeah, we've been laughing the entire
I just made
time.
you laugh earlier.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds
The
ago,
job
before
is
you knew
done.
I was a comedian, I was making you laugh.
Yeah.
Now it's on demand. And it is funny, because one of the, well, what's your job? Oh, you're an accountant? Do my taxes.
Yeah, dude, rip me an
Or
Excel
whatever.
spreadsheet right here. What's your favorite function?
Mostly, it doesn't feel like it's like sometimes people are just, it's only annoying if they're self-aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
If they're just some dum-dum who are like, ooh, comedian, tell a joke to me.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay.
You sweet
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, right,
Bless your heart.
Yeah, exactly. We've been laughing this whole time, beautiful. And they're like, oh, I don't care.
I forgot.
Don't tell me a joke. Thanks for talking to me. Exactly. So it's whatever. Yeah, but yeah. Thank you. I'm alone. I'm so lonely.
I'm lonely.
My husband died. Yeah, it's just sad. Yeah, so I try not to get too annoyed by that, but it is when it's coming from a guy who is just clearly trying to big dog you.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so annoying.
Yeah. Give me like a 1 to 10.
Oh, when it's like the worst case scenario
worst case
of tell me
scenario.
a joke.
Yeah.
11.
Oh.
Oh yeah, just
Front
like,
runner
Yeah,
right off the
fuck
bat.
you, guy. So annoying.
All right. The second one here. Stutter stepping the dap fist bump between comics on stage.
Oh, a tale as old as time.
Yep.
Just gonna happen. Both parties are nervous.
Yep.
No one's thinking about it. It happens way more often than it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't piss me off at all. It makes me fucking chuckle every time.
Just a low grade.
I've messed up the exchange doing it while coming off of a stage in front of 8,000 people and gone to dab the feature, and he went to shake my hand, and then we do that, and then we laugh, and then we hug
Yeah.
in front of an arena.
Yeah.
So it pisses me off 0%.
All right.
I mean, it's like there are sometimes, sure, when it's like if it's like very egregious,
yeah.
and it's like two people who weren't even trying,
There
then it might make you roll your eyes. But mostly it's just like
there was one time I was hit with the bait and switch by Jake Duran, where he
what'd he do?
told me he's like, we're gonna fist bump, and then
that's so funny
and then
to try to play
and then he
ahead.
went for the dap instead.
no.
It tanked my first joke for sure. I was in my head immediately.
That rocks. No, that doesn't piss me off. It's just kind of silly every time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hosting the Hub for so long that I would go so far as to say that I've probably fucked up 1,000+ handshakes. More, maybe,
That rules.
you know?
Yeah.
A dozen a night? More? A dozen a night? You'll go like this. Yeah. I mean, only.
Yeah.
Every time. No, so, yeah, that's a funny one.
This one's
Yeah,
zero.
that's a funny one. That's funny.
All right. Speaking of hosting an open mic, the wrong person talking to you too long at an open mic.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yep.
Another one of those things where it's like it's not really worth getting super worked up about something that's just going to happen every time. You know,
but there are days, man, where I'm like, if I don't escape this conversation, I'm going to nuclear meltdown.
Yeah, I know, man. It's lack of self-awareness is one of the worst things
which
that
is so
someone can
imperative
have.
to being a comic.
Yeah, you got to have it. And those who don't have it in spades.
Oh.
And sometimes I guess it depends on my mood.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like everybody does want to be heard. It's like it's an important thing for someone to feel seen and heard, no matter how delusional they are.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't necessarily think that like it's like a right of everybody's.
Right.
Not everyone. It's a sad reality of life, you know. It's not your inherent right to like
have this
just
audience.
be heard out and
Yeah.
have this audience. It's just not. But I can provide it a little bit. So I would say if you're talking about the most annoyed I've ever been getting caught after the Hub by somebody, a 10 out of 10. If I zoom out over the 7 years of doing it, I would say I'm down to like a 2.
Yeah.
I'm to a point now where it's like it is so much of a part of it for me.
Sure.
And if you're watching this and you're like, is he talking about me? Probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
If you're
But,
self-aware enough to ask that question, no.
It's not you.
Yeah. No.
But no, I mean, at this point now, it's like, God, no. I kind of look forward to, 10 to 15 minutes after whenever it is, Hub, Pro-Am, wherever we are, whatever open mic I'm at. And sometimes it's productive, and then sometimes it just feels like I'm like giving to charity, and that's fine.
Doing
like,
my good deed.
Again, I'm not like, I'm self-aware about that. Like, I know that sounds so crummy, but like it feels like a nice thing to do sometimes. Like, and it's not altruistic.
I understand that.
Nothing is.
Yeah.
But I do it 'cause like I like it. I want to be that person for some people that don't feel hurt.
There's no reason to be a cock. Like,
there's no reason to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to go over to these people's house and sit on their couch, but it's like, I've always said, I think I can give just about anybody 10 minutes a week.
Yeah.
Just about anybody, I can give them 10 minutes a week.
Yeah.
And for some of these motherfuckers, it's 5 installments of 2 minutes.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I hear you, dude.
No doubt, dude. But like, I can give anybody 10 minutes in a week.
Yeah.
And
you're a lot more generous than I am on my on
yeah,
my worst
that's
days.
fair, man. I have really clammed up a lot. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, definitely. I used to be way more of kind of like a golden retriever type, you know, and I still do enjoy it, but now it's just it's a prioritizing of your time.
Yeah.
And your energy, and it's like,
my social battery has just taken like a hit over the last few years.
No doubt.
And like, so like now I'm like, all right, guys, I'm drained.
yeah, 100%. I need plenty of time to just kind of be by myself.
Yeah.
Or be with my girl and just be in a damn cave.
Yeah.
I definitely need that. I love driving around. PUP is already queued up. It's
hell yeah.
This album is fun to drive around and listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's good driving music.
Yeah.
It's loud. Yeah, it's good.
All right, we'll do one more. Getting bumped.
Getting bumped at a mic.
And this is on your worst day. Like, where would you rank it if you're already feeling it for the day? Like,
I guess it would depend on who the bump is.
Yeah.
Because I've been bumped, like, a million times coming up.
Yeah.
But it would be, an older guy coming into a mic,
Right.
and then you get bumped by them. And, yeah, you're, like, chaffed or whatever, but you get it. I mean, if you get, I've been a couple of those shows coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
Where it was just like really the Wild West, and who was even running them, and like,
Yeah.
whatever. And we were all so hungry, and we wanted it. And we all have this idea of like how it should be ran and what it should be
and like
done.
your
and
own
then
internal list of who's where in the pecking order.
100%. You show up, you don't make the lineup. And we have this. We like doing the math. I love doing comedy show math in my head. I'm like, what makes the most sense?
Yeah.
And then you don't see it. So maybe this might not necessarily be a bump, but like, just being on a show where,
Like, why am I in this order?
Yeah. Why? What is this?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Of like, just a couple times where it's like, all right, if this is the lineup, man, that lineup's good, not good in any version.
Yeah.
But then just having to go up after a couple people who just like, eat a big old bag of their own,
they
man.
just eat it.
Yeah, it's annoying, but it is part of it. I'm very fortunate now that it's, aside from an open mic, it is happening less.
Yeah.
Like I'm on a bunch of shows now where, maybe I get to bring an opener.
Yeah.
And, that person's going to do well. I don't know. Getting bumped is annoying. I've never been much of a bumper. I've run my open mic for a really long time, and I've never really bumped anybody.
Yeah.
Gabe Kia put that in my head. Gabe Kia would come to the Hub back in the day, and I'd be like, yo, what up? You want me to put you up? And he'd say, nah, I'm good. Just put me at the end. And he'd watch the show and buy a couple drinks, leave a good tip, try to ingratiate the bar, be good to the bar and give to the scene a little bit. And, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say Blake bumps every week at the Hub. He's guaranteed going up third at the Hub no matter what. But I don't know. I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah, I think we could alter this to the lineup, like being on a bat, not getting your preferred lineup spot.
Yeah,
because like bumping's pretty rare.
Yeah, but then it's like going back to lineup math. I mean, there's so much that goes into it that you can pretty much make sense of like. I mean, I just do believe there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I think you could more or less pick names out of a hat and get a similar idea, but I think anything with intention is better.
Oh yeah.
You know, anything with like a little thought put into it is just gonna be better.
Giving a shit's gonna
Giving
get you
a
better
shit makes
results
things
every
better.
time. Yeah.
Duh.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. So I mean, a bad lineup like that, or people just not doing their jobs.
Right. Yeah.
People, because it's like, you know, it is a solo sport. We do go up there by ourselves, but like if it is a show,
The show's a team effort.
it's a team effort,
Yeah.
man. A live show at maybe at a bar or the
Yeah.
corner of a fucking brewery
Yeah.
or wherever you are. It's like you need everyone to kind of go up there and do it. And if you go up there and it's like you're just really only worried about your own shit,
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
show.
do my stuff whether it makes the next comic set weird or not.
Yeah.
Whether it fucks the show or not, I'm an artist, and it's like, bro, you are an open micer.
Yeah. So I spent like a solid amount of time at the Second City in Hollywood.
Right on.
I was doing improv with them for like 2 years.
Fuck yeah.
And so one of the things that really got pushed into us is that the spotlight looks best on everybody.
Yeah.
So like when you like go out there and like interrupt a scene, because like it's the Wild West during improv,
Yeah.
right? You have free reign to do whatever you want during
Sure.
the scene. But if you go out there and try and snipe a punchline, it makes everyone look terrible, even if that punchline hits.
It makes the audience uncomfortable, probably.
Yeah, it makes so like you being selfish during like an improv scene equals everyone looking bad.
Yeah, right.
Not you looking good
Yes.
like you think it does.
Yes.
So like I bring that sort of mentality to stand up as well. Like everyone on the show needs to do their part. We are taking turns,
Yeah.
but like rising tides float all boats. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
so like
yeah.
we're all going to look better if we all do our jobs.
100%, man.
And,
Amen to that, dude.
And so yeah, that was something that was deeply instilled in me at the Second City.
Yeah, that's really important. And it does. It feels a little different when we're not literally sharing a stage.
Right.
But especially at an open mic, like that shit, and take all the chances in the world at an open mic.
Oh yeah.
We all certainly do and should.
Yeah.
But like it is something that should be in the back of your head. Because it's like, is this such a swing for the fence that I'm going to mess up this show for 15 to 20 minutes? And if that's the case, maybe sign up really, really late.
Yeah.
Maybe intentionally go last.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do it, but people are also allowed to be pissed at you.
Right.
You know?
It's two ways.
Yeah, you know, people are still allowed to be annoyed.
Yeah.
No one's really doing that in the scene right now.
No, I've
There's
noticed people are signing up intentionally.
Yeah.
Like, I want to work on this wild thing, put me last. Like,
Yeah, I
or,
enjoy
like,
that.
Or I want to work on my tight five, put me up top.
I
You know, like that kind of thing.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Oh, yeah.
That was a funny bit. I liked that, dude. Yeah, that was good.
There we go. And that's our last record scratch.
Let's go.
Which brings us to our final segment of the show, On a Turntable.
Yes.
I sent these questions to you ahead of time.
Those questions were great. I tried to jump the shark at the beginning of the episode, but yeah, it was a good question. They'll be easy to answer. We've answered them pretty much throughout the podcast.
Yeah, I have some things to say. Don't worry. So the first question is, this album has been described as bordering on a tantrum.
Yes.
Considering both they and we are in our 30s, do you think this style of music is still helpful at our age, or do you think it's overstaying its welcome in our psyches?
Overstaying its welcome in the sense that, like, at our age, we should
Be better at letting
get
go.
over it. Yeah, let it go. Well, I think that listening to this kind of music is a form of letting go.
Yes.
If you're not, if I listen to this while driving around town doing errands, it's a lot different than like listening to this, like, you know, smoking cigarettes on your couch in college.
Right.
You know, it's like anything is just the environment that you put yourself into.
Yeah.
So I really liked the question,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we answered it a little bit, talking about how this is kind of like the matured man's pop.
Yeah.
This is the pop punk for a guy who is 33.
Yeah.
You know, or is, you know, getting up there or whatever it is. No, I think that this music is still appropriate for a guy my age in the same way that I will still listen to, you know, rap music about killing people, then the Backstreet Boys, then, you know, country music sung by a guy whose beliefs don't align with mine, and while I listen to all of it, right? It's like if I just listened to music that fit just like my mood or like whatever level of maturity I want to attain, I don't even know what smooth jazz when I just listen to smooth jazz all day. You know, like
I'm totally zen.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, no, I don't know why people like. I guess I get why people see like, no, the pop punk. You're still listening to
Yeah.
that. You're still a kid, but like, there's other forms of music that people listen to like for their entire
Right.
lives.
So what spawned this question, and like, or I forget what happened first, whether the question happened first or
Yeah.
me listening to this podcast, but the other week I listened to Rick Rubin on Andrew Huberman's podcast.
Oh God, those are
Which-
two thinkers. Eh?
Those are heavyweight
God.
folk, and like it was one of the more like indulgent podcasts I've listened to.
Yeah,
in a
you listen
while.
to it and you're like, God, I'm getting this so much more than
Yeah,
most people.
and like it's really indulgent. But there was a moment, and it wasn't even an intentional part of the show. Like it was like a moment where Andrew Huberman was being hard on himself for only liking like hardcore punk music.
Right.
And he's like, and I know, and he was getting down on himself.
Right.
He was like, and I know, like, I listen to all this angry music, but I'm not an angry guy. And Rick Rubin's like, no. He's like, you weren't listening to that music to be angry.
Yes.
You were listening to that music to feel seen
Yes.
and to feel safe
Yeah.
in feeling those feelings.
And now you feel that when you hear that
and
music.
he's like, and so the energy you're putting off listening to this music is actually good energy.
Yeah.
Not negative.
Not to get angry.
No, it's not to get angry. It's to feel seen.
Yeah.
And like that's what I love this band is because like I do feel this way. I do feel seen, and that's ultimately.
So
like,
in
a positive
2016,
thing.
were you 25?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, you're 30. So no, in 2016 you were 22.
Okay.
But
Wait.
yeah, because 2016 I
Yeah.
just
22,
turned
yep.
25, and
Yeah,
that's the year I started comedy.
Yeah.
It's when I was 25. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You were angsty as fuck,
Yeah.
22, carrying around all this
Yeah.
extra weight. You were
Actually,
listening to this music.
I found
and
this band later than that.
Okay.
I
yeah.
found it, and like I'm gonna touch on it in our third question.
Okay,
About
yeah.
what like my
what it
connection
means to
this-
you.
Yeah. But yeah, I found them a little late, so
Okay,
they were
cool.
like, but boy, did I have some angsty feelings.
Yeah, you needed them.
I needed
That
them.
you
in
found
a
them
huge
right.
way.
Yeah, right when you needed them. You
Yeah.
got the PUP the band, dude. Yeah, no, I would say, yeah, no, it's appropriate, and I don't think that you can like judge someone too much based off of the music that they are listening to.
No.
Because I mean, if you judged me based off and people have, it's another weird thing about music, because people do get kind of uppity about it.
Oh, they get judgy. Yeah.
People get really kind of uppity about it.
I can be that person.
I believe it, and
I
it's
can
okay.
be
I
that
get
person.
judgy about all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
But like music is definitely one of those things where it's like it is such an important part of culture, and it is such a wonderful thing that people can really latch onto it, just like anything. But like
Right.
being a music aficionado can be someone's personality, and then
Oh, yeah.
anything that turns into that is bad.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean, my music taste is just so wild.
Yeah.
And all huge spread all over the place.
But you have a wide
I know what I like to listen to.
right, or like you have a wild amount of needs. Like your spectrum of like emotional needs could be wider than your average.
So
parent's.
true.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
needing like doesn't necessarily need a box. You know?
100%.
And I lean toward this style of music, but I also have a wide scale. Of
That's
like
good.
That I chase when I'm feeling different things.
For sure.
Um.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, isn't that so true? I've been, it's funny. It's a great point. Just been thinking about like family building a lot lately, you know, and like going into that next stage of my life.
Yeah.
So lately I've just been listening to so much like wholesome country music
Yeah.
and shit, you know, like 90s country
Yeah.
and shit like that. And you're listening to it, and it's that was a really good point that you brought up, is it's just like you listen to whatever you're feeling like you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, you listen like whatever emotion like you're missing out on,
Yeah.
or you
Because music for me has been a vehicle to feel seen
Yeah,
or to
yeah.
feel like safe.
well,
because, like,
there's a built-in community that comes in with liking a band,
yeah.
because then you find other people who like it.
Mm-hmm. And like when I am struggling to name an emotion, I'll often like look to music and be like, all right, here it is.
Listen to a song.
Yeah.
It's
here
not
it
a
is.
word; it's a collection of words with a melody and
Yeah.
4 people doing it together. And
Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that makes sense.
Is wild. Like
Yeah.
it's a complex thing.
Music boy.
Yeah. All right, next question. The title of this album comes from the direct quote of the lead singer's doctor after he had shredded his vocal cords. The dream is over.
Yeah.
That's the quote. Is there a time in your life where you took negative news like that and said fuck it and dug in harder?
Oh man. First off, that is so crushing What
Oh,
a
yeah.
wild doctor.
Yeah.
The dream is over?
The dream's over, man. Like, I can't imagine being told that.
Yeah, work on your bedside manner, doc.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I mean, nothing. I try to think of, like a specific case where I was dealt some news. I mean, nothing like physiological or no one truly holding me back or anything. But I remember I was just out of college. I just moved up here. I took some nothing job.
Yeah.
And, that first paycheck hit, and it was like this big deal. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the most money I've ever gotten at one time. Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like, things appeared to be going well, I guess, I had a job, I was making money, I'd moved up to a new city with my girlfriend, and, we were saving money and all this stuff, and I just remember just, like, oh my God, wanting to throw up every day.
Yeah, just being empty.
Like 40-minute commute to this office job, and I, just sick to my stomach, just being like, there's no way this is it.
Yeah.
And if my dad did this for me, then I really need to go and talk to that guy.
Yeah, I owe that dude
good
an apology.
looking out.
Yeah.
And like, so that was really jarring. And I lasted at that job for like 7 or 8 months. And it was really, really jarring. I knew I never wanted to do that again. And then I just started using my degree, started substitute teaching.
Yeah.
Became a building sub, ended up getting on for a year, and I was teaching and I was doing that. But yeah, man, I knew that I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then to bring it back to my parents, it's like I knew because they did do that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Just work for 40 years. And I think the proper way to like truly honor it is to like do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, take the swing.
Take the fucking swing
Yeah.
because it's like very far from a silver spoon,
Yeah.
but always pretty much just comfortable.
Yeah.
Got a new pair of shoes every school year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we were not without.
Yeah.
And they're good now, and so yeah, I have no qualms with that. No one, and that's another thing is it's like aside from just like your own mind, life in general, all the things that come with it, the bumps that everyone takes, like no one's really dealt me, hey motherfucker.
Yeah.
No sir.
Yeah.
It's like I got a lot of resistance from my family most of my life. I was supposed to be a lawyer.
Sure.
I'm the oldest grandkid. I was supposed to be a lawyer, take over the attorney, the office and blah, 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 or a doctor. And so it was always kind of like, I always kind of dealt with like feeling like I was disappointing everyone in my very involved close family.
Yeah.
And they're on board now, but like, I guess that would be what I just dug my heels in and was like, hey, I love you guys. I value you, but also, what are we fucking doing here?
Yeah.
I'm my own guy. My whole life, you told me to like be my own guy and blaze my own trail and not take no for an answer. And here I am doing it.
Yeah.
So like, just kind of standing up for myself for the first time in that way, where it's just like, I'm not saying it's going to work, but I'm saying like, it is my life to fuck up.
Yeah.
So just like, thank you for loving me enough to worry about me.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to continue to worry about me, but this is just me saying I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I can't feel bad about it anymore.
Yeah. My story is really similar in the sense that, like, so my parents were, like, supportive, but also kind of, like, out of,
sure,
he'll do his thing.
Right.
I got read the riot act by my friend's mom when I dropped out of college.
Really?
Yeah, it was in DAP here at UC. I was in the art program. Like, it's like hard to get in there.
Yeah, it's one of the best in the country.
Yeah, it's hard to get in there. And I was like, I was doing well. Like I had the good grades. I was doing just fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate this.
And
like my parents had gotten divorced like mid high school, and I was like already taking an adult role in my family's life at that point. And I'm like, these are children surrounding me in this college.
Yeah.
Like, these are children. I hate this. Please let me leave. I've always hated school. And I like chose to move to LA. And
Yeah,
like,
it's a bet on yourself. That's
oh
cool.
boy, was it.
Yeah.
And then like, so I got read like the riot act, you know,
Yeah.
like, I can't believe you're dropping out of this school. And oh, it was so hard to get in there. Yeah, you're throwing it away, that kind of shit.
Sure.
And
Your
it's-
friend's mom did that.
yeah, my friend's mom. And just like, they've always had like more conservative views than like your average bear.
Sure.
And
Your parents or your friend's mom?
my friend's mom.
Yeah.
And so like, and it took years to convince them that it was fine.
Yeah.
It took years. And then eventually I finally got validated like 5 years after the fact. They're like, well, you learned so much out there. And like,
you're like, no shit.
yeah, no fucking shit.
Why do you think I went?
Yes. And like now, so like now I bought this house. I have the good job. I have all the
Yeah.
things they were so scared I was never going to have.
Yeah.
But guess what? My crafty ass did it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's no one path, gang.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no one path.
Not a blueprint for
Be
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Let me learn. And like now I have like this insane outside perspective that most
Yeah.
folks don't.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to have.
And like,
What's their kid doing?
he's a pharmacist.
Okay, good for him.
Yep. He's doing fine.
I was
He
part of me
followed the
was hoping
blueprint.
that he was living with them.
No, he's a pharmacist. But like, it's the blueprint.
Good for
right?
him,
It's
yeah.
like the modern day Midwestern success.
God, dude, I was ready. I was locked in, ready to do it. I mean, I
Mhm.
moved up from Lexington to Cincinnati to be with my college girlfriend,
Yeah.
and it was just like, all right, how fast can we buy a house, get pregnant, get married, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then, to her credit, I think she was like, "Whoa." And you know, I was feeling the same way, but I was so ready just to blindly be
Mhm.
like, "Well, this is what you do."
Yeah.
And a bunch of my buddies did it, and they're living happy lives. I'm
Mhm.
not. It's like it's not a judgment, but I just certainly know it was not.
Yeah, dude.
The path
Sometimes one
for me.
size truly does not fit all.
It definitely doesn't. No, that's a fucking fact.
And like leaving the comfort of that sort of like blueprint is uncomfortable. Like, and
Yeah, but
and
then
a
it
lot of
makes-
people are not open to that discomfort.
But then it makes every single little thing that you achieve feel so sweet.
oh yeah,
It feels so sick.
yes,
Like every time I get to go and play golf, I play golf with my comedy money.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like I get to play golf for free.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
like
dude. I told
it
jokes
doesn't
to hit
feel
this
like
ball right
yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly. I don't feel like it feels like such a little cheat code.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
yeah.
It rocks.
It's the little rewards,
Yes, it is.
and like,
And I'll leave here after this podcast, and you'll close the door, and you'll be by yourself in this really beautiful home
you-
that you own. And that's like a good feeling. And then
Yeah.
you'll get to sit down and maybe you start working on this or whatever
Yeah.
that might be. And then, like, I don't know, that's a good little goal. It's
yeah,
a good life.
yeah,
It's a
man.
good life.
There's no one way.
Yeah, there's
Like,
no one
and
way.
Just figure it out, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Amen.
All right, you ready for this last question?
Hit me.
Is there a time in your life this album really reminds you of? Tell me a story.
Well, I mean, I think that just kind of, well, the first time I listened to it was on a tour bus.
Yeah.
In my little bunk. So, I mean, I guess, like, just on a very base level, it reminds me of, like, 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of, like, the feelings of anticipation and the kind of, like, that nervous pit in your stomach that you
Yeah.
have before, like, a run of
Big
shows.
gig, yeah.
But then, like, the lyrics of it, I mean, going back to just, like, how it is, like, kind of age appropriate for a guy in his early to mid 30s or whatever. Yeah, it just, some of the lyrics reminded me of, like, moments of my life, I guess more in, like, my late 20s
Yeah.
when I was really not being kind to myself.
Oh yeah.
Where I started comedy and, part of everything I'd ever read or listened to, everything I knew about comedy is that comedians were sad,
Angry.
tortured,
Yeah.
substance abusing, and I just, leaned into all of that. I
Yeah.
was already sad and angry at the time, like, I was at a point, I was there,
Mm-hmm.
but then I really leaned into it, and so, I mean, some of the songs where he's talking about, just like any of the songs where he's referencing drinking,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
any of that right there where you just, like, you're in a bad place, that the booze is bad, and then you're kind of doing it in this, like, just like this self-flagellating, like, you
Yeah.
know exactly what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's
But
like
you're lost in it,
certainly
dude.
it is a disease. I'm not discrediting it, but it's like for my brand of like when I'm drinking too much, I'm like punishing myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're not having a good time.
No. And I went years and years not really using it as like, you know, not to call it medicine, but like you can, because it is literally poison, but like it
it's a
can be
numbing
used,
agent.
it can be used medicinally, like
Yeah.
in a social setting, 3.5 to 4 Miller High Lifes, get me in front of my boys.
Yeah.
I would love to ramble,
Yeah.
you know, but no, any of the songs where I was like, oh yeah, this is me living in a little shithole in Covington when I was 27,
Yeah.
being like intentionally being like a brooding,
Yeah.
woe is me
Oh yeah.
artist. Let's go to the park and smoke cigarettes, drink beer out of my fucking backpack, and write bad jokes to go
Yeah.
bomb with at the open mic tonight. You know, and I loved it. So I'm not even saying it reminds me of like a bad portion of my life, but some of the songs reminded me of being like, oh yeah, God, to be young and single and dumb and sad and angry and brooding and like just right on the precipice of, you know, having to try to get some of your shit together.
Yeah.
Because he's a 25-year-old artist living in a van with all of his friends.
Yeah.
Like, that hits home for me up until about, like, yesterday.
Right.
You know,
right.
like, it still kind
We've
of is.
been dirtbags.
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
Right. Like.
Have been reformed.
Yeah.
You know, I have flare-ups.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
We
know?
all do.
I got flare-ups of dirtbaggery.
I tell myself like 3 times a year I get to go be a dirtbag with my buds, and
Yeah,
then like,
it's
and then we're
fucking
back
fun.
to real life.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. But no, I don't know. Just kind of reminded me of just being an angsty young man out there navigating dating and getting your heart broken and being on the road and just like, you know, trying to figure out why you want to keep waking up.
Yeah.
You know?
This album reminds me of an insane time of my life.
Yeah. When did you discover it?
So I discovered it right around the time. All right. So backstory.
Yeah.
I moved back here to Ohio 3-ish, almost 4 years ago now.
Okay.
And that's because my mom had a very extreme health struggle.
Yeah.
And so like before I made the official move, I was here essentially in secret for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like helping her transition from like the ICU to like a reform hospital
Just got
to
sick
like
as hell.
like to like a
Rehab type thing.
rehab and to a nursing home. And so like now for the last 4 years, it's just been a slow, steady, solid decline.
Tough.
And so it's been a little brutal.
Tough.
But like this album reminds me of like the 6 months between when I went back to LA to like figure out what we're doing next.
Right.
Because like I was
So
here,
you came home,
dealt with all
3
that.
months, you were like, holy shit, my mom, everything's different.
In actual trauma, like
Yeah.
where we're like,
Oh, yeah, your
I'm
mom's different.
yeah, completely different, not the same.
Your
Hasn't
life
been
is
since.
on and it will never.
Yeah.
No.
Hasn't been since.
Yeah,
And so
one of those.
I went
Life-altering moment.
Yes.
And then you're back in La La Land for
And
6 months just licking your wounds, being like, so I've got to like get out of this lease, right?
Yep.
What the fuck am I
so we
doing?
got, I gotta like, I gotta quit my job. Like I had a girl I was dating at the
I was
time.
about to say,
I had
who's we? Like you had
Yeah.
a girl out there.
I
and
had a
you're
girl
like,
out there, and like my roommate, and like we had to figure out that, and like it was like, and it was like the most I've ever indulged in substances. Like I
Right.
remember texting my roommate, and I was like, "You need to source everything for when
Yes.
I get off this plane."
Yeah, right.
And then like
To like truly disassociate.
absolutely, I spent that 6 months. I dyed my hair blonde. Like I was actually
You really leaned
having
in.
a crisis.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Randomly went to Hawaii because
Is
like,
this where you found this album?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, but the song Doubts
Yeah.
is like what rings the most true is like now that I've got nothing, you're having doubts.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And
yeah.
and like that second verse, he's like, I spend more nights on the floor, like doing
Than in
myself
my own bed.
Yeah. Or like I haven't felt quite like myself for months on end.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
You're like, who am I?
This and like same with like familiar patterns and
Yeah.
like all these. So like this album got me through like the bulk of that time.
That's sick, dude.
And like it was the most insane time of my life. I look at it and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, but we are so fortunate to have had eras in our life like that didn't have like, lasting effects.
Right.
Because some people, on some level, I think everyone needs to go through it.
Yes.
Like, of course, I say that, you say that, we came out on the other side of it. I do think there's plenty to be learned in that moment. And then when you pick yourself up and you got to clean your fucking act up, there's a lot to be, like, that's important. People got to know how to do that.
Yes. Well, everyone's dealt the opportunity.
Right?
You're dealt the opportunity, and whether you choose to engage in the opportunity of getting better is on you.
And that moment where you catch yourself and you're doing it and you're like, because we both cited do it like, no, I'm leaning in.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean in to do this. Fingers crossed. I don't fuck anything up.
Yeah.
But like, I am leaning into doing this.
Yeah.
And like, there's something, I'm very fortunate to have gotten out of that.
Yeah. I remember is like my girlfriend and I at the time were like on a walk with her dog. And I remember like just being in a dissociative state the entire time.
Yeah, man.
And she's like trying to talk to me like things are normal. And I was like, they simply aren't.
Yeah. You were in this weird in-between where you were just like, yeah, my mom's dying in Ohio.
Yeah, and I'm like...
And I'm in California doing what? I got bleached hair.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right, time to get high, time to get blackout drunk.
Yeah. I was every which way. It was crazy.
Been in and out of those eras, man.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But so that's what this album reminds me of. And I look at it in like a weird fondness now. Yeah. Like a weird, like, we lived it. We lived it. We did it.
I looked it up, because, on Spotify, it's got the year that it came out, right? And this is kind of a thread that we've talked about the entire time. But, like, so it came out in 2016. So immediately I think 2016, that's the year I started comedy.
Yeah.
So I think, all right, I'm 25. This came out parallel line with me when I was 25. And then I look it up, and Stefan's same age as me. Yeah. He was 25 when this album came out in 2016. So it just really it just and then all the music about like what you were just talking about, and beating yourself up with the substances really leaning into it and like not allowing yourself the grace to like drink some water and go on a fucking
feel
walk.
The feels.
Call your dad or whatever. Yeah. It woke that up in me. It just felt like angsty Covington Lee in 2017. Yeah. It was good. Yeah. It's a good album. I'm going to listen to it on the way home.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. Shit was good.
Hell yeah.
It was a good podcast.
You got anything you want to plug at the end of this episode here? Got anything coming up that you want the people to know?
When's it coming out? Do you know?
Thursday.
This Thursday? Okay. Well, every Monday for the rest of April, whether you're a comedian or you're not a comedian, come to the Hub open mic on Monday. Oh, yeah. On Monday night at the Hub, and then go to B-List after that. But the Hub's done at the end of April. The bar is closing. It's being sold. There's no Hub ever again after April. Hey, man. Fine by me, dog.
What a run.
Yeah, dude. Never quit. It's pretty sick. Yeah. The bar was open for 7 years. The open mic ran for 7 years.
Hell yeah.
But so come to the Hub. I'll, go to Go Bananas. Follow me on Instagram.
Yep. His Instagram will be in the description, just like mine, every time. You have a special on YouTube?
Yeah, I got a special out on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
It's called Mike and Molly right there. It's like I'm proud of it. It's like a first. It's a good. Excuse me. I think it's like a good first thing. You know, you can watch it. You can get a pretty decent idea who I am as a comedian. But I filmed that in 2021 and have improved greatly since then. Oh, yeah. But I'm still proud of it. It's a good first thing. So Mike and Molly, it's on YouTube.
I'll link that in the description as well.
That's what I got, man.
Hell yeah,
Look me up, find my stuff online, and have a good day.
Absolutely. And like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Likes do so much on the YouTube algorithm, so please do that.
Hell yeah.
And we will catch you in the next one.
Full
Thank
Spin
you so
Club,
much.
baby. See you, Dave.